guys, Saf here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Now, I haven't done a video in ages. I've been super busy with lots of other different things, and I was about to start recording my new Hydra meta video, and the patch notes have come out today, and we've got a major change that hasn't even made it into the patch notes that is going to affect every player's teams, and I think it's absolutely the most insane thing that I've ever seen in a single update that hasn't even made it into a patch notes. So right now we've been adjusting to this new Hydra mentality of, you know, you've got these Serpent's Will issues, you've got lots of different things going on, and it's very difficult. If you kill too many heads too quickly, they all come back, you can't do any damage. One of the saving graces of the new system was overkill damage, and also champions that could hit multiple times on that overkill. So you could still get to your 1.2 if you had someone like a Quintus that did a 4-hitter, or you had someone like a Ninja Mikage, that was a very popular team that people were using, or you had something like Michinaki. Or you got a major problem now. They have stealth nerfed Hydra to a degree that I have never seen before, and it is all to do with ally attacks and multi-hits. What they've essentially done is they've made it so that if you kill the decapitated head, the exposed neck, within an individual multi-hit cycle, you don't get the extra hits. Before, it would do all the damage, it would hit them all at the same time. But what we've got now is a multi-hit problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly work this head down a little bit. I'm going to get it lower HP before I use Taeok. And this only applies to exposed necks when they respawn. It's the only impact we have here, and it's the most important impact because it's where you're going to get most of your damage. So I'm going to lower the HP of this boss, this neck here. We absolutely need to do this. So if I do an ally attack right now, I'm going to slow it down. Look what happens. Nobody else is attacking. All the other guys are not attacking because their head has already been exposed. If I do a Taeok's A1 here, if he kills this head, he gets 2 heads. Look. Nothing happens. They've killed all of the damage from ally attacks. Ally attack is essentially worthless in Hydra because there's no guarantee that you're going to get all of the damage from the ally attack, because if you kill the exposed neck on the first ally, none of the other allies are going to take damage. And this is a pretty big problem because whilst that we've been dealing with all these changes, one of the saving graces has been being able to use ally attacks and something. Now, obviously they've changed the logic of the AI, and I don't know if this is an intended or unintended consequence of this change, but I will say this is a huge change. This literally kills this team that I'm running here. Watch this now, okay? I'll put some debuffs up. I'm running this on normal for the test of this video. We're going to run it through, and all I'm going to use is Taeok's. I'm just going to do this. Now, normally Taeok's will attack one enemy 2 times, and then the ally with the highest crit damage, which is Quintus, will join. So I should be able to get 6 hits here. I might only get 1. I got 1 attack. So not only is it stopping ally attack, it is stopping multi-hits. So if I've got a champion that has its damage separated across 3 hits, it's basically less powerful than a single champion. And now, this is where I'm really frustrated, because guess what it doesn't affect? Of course, it doesn't affect Trunda. Why? Because Trunda only hits once. Now, it might affect her A3. Her A3 is going to be weaker now, because effectively her A3 is going to be a multi-hit. So if she kills the head on the first hit, she's not going to get the second hit. But this is not going to affect her A2. So this has now made Trunda even more powerful, because the only teams that were really competing with Trunda was the Taeok's-led teams with Ieyasu or with Toshiro or with your big hitters. So I can use her A3. This ability here will now only hit once if it wakes the head back up. Fortunately, it didn't. But I can still, with Trunda, because of the way that it's going to work, it's a single hit. This is unaffected by this change. So it makes her even more powerful. It pushes her further in the lead, because the teams that were being used to compete with her are not going to be able to do this. I'm actually quite frustrated by this team, this modification, because once more, they're not solving the core problem, because I can just do this and do 71 million damage. It's unaffected. But the other teams that were competing, Taeok's team is probably dead. I'll be honest, my Taeok's team was doing, about 800 million damage. That's probably not going to do anywhere near that now, because I can't even guarantee that Taeok's is going to use his full ability set with this change. I am hoping this is an unintended change, that they've fixed a bug and they've introduced this somewhere. But I'll be honest, right now, my motivation level in Hydra just got killed, because whilst all these other changes have been pretty difficult for a lot of players, and I've been trying to say in all the different videos that my biggest concern and biggest complaint about the modifications were not that Trunda was still powerful, but that actually everyone else's teams were really, really affected, and Trunda remains the #1 team. Now we're actually even hurting the teams that can potentially compete with Trunda by making this change that you can't overkill an exposed head. You've not solved any problems, right? You actually, let me correct my mistake there. You can still overkill a head. The difference is you can't overkill the head with multiple hits. So now all that really matters in Hydra is, do you have a champion that can do a one-hit wonder? People like Marius. Marius is going to be absolutely annihilated with this change because he does his damage over 3 hits. He might only hit the enemy once. It will stop the hits. I don't understand this change. I'm struggling with this change. They don't know what they're doing. That's the only thing I can come up with here at this point. They have no idea how to balance Hydra. They have no idea where the damage sources are coming from. They have no idea how to make this game mode interesting. Nobody wants to sit here fighting a serpent's head that's got 100% minus damage reduction, and then the whole point of killing the head to do bonus damage has gone out the window now. You can only do 10 million damage. And now what you're doing is, instead of trying to basically find ways to get excess damage, you're effectively now relying on a Trunda, because she is the only champion in the game that can do this level of abuse for this game mode. So you've just made Trunda the #1 team again by quite a significant margin. I don't know, guys. I'm doing this like kind of like a last minute video here. It'll probably be straight to edit. It's pretty disgusting, this change. And it's not even in the patch notes. Like, we can bring a patch notes up here. I'll show you exactly what I mean. There is absolutely no reference to this in the patch notes of this significant change. This is probably more significant than most of the other changes. And the reason why I say this is because this massively affects any multi-hit or ally attack system in the game. We used to use ally attacks a hell of a lot. We can see here, right, we got the new card in player and play. They basically put, I think, Morag in the player and play program. Don't really understand why they've done that. I mean, most people can't get access to them anyway. It's a very expensive epic, but they have done it. We've got these new quests for live arena. I mean, there's been a lot of noise about this. I will break it down when I do my patch notes video, and I do all the different things to check the new champions. We've got some expanded conditions for receiving siege rewards. This is basically just fixing up a lot of the problems, like making sure you absolutely qualify if you put a defense. Fair enough, these are great. They fixed the bonuses, so there's worth upgrading. Cool. I think this mistake is pretty wrong as well. We've changed the number of victory medals. You basically get more points for destroying than defending. I think it should be the other way around. It's far more difficult to defend your stronghold than it is to take the enemy stronghold. I personally feel like if you manage to defend your stronghold, you should get more points than if you manage to take the enemy stronghold. Because effectively, when I'm building my defenses for stronghold, I need to think of every possible team that I face. When I'm building my offense, I only need to think about the 4 champions that I need to beat just to defeat that one team. It's far easier to win than it is to defend, if that makes sense. To attack than it is to defend. Basically making it more rewarding to break a siege devalues a good defense. It doesn't really matter now. I might as well focus on trying to win, and whether I hold it, it's less points. I actually think this should have been the other way around. It should be more valuable to defend and less valuable to defeat, so that it puts more value in actually having a good, strong defense. That's my personal take on it. We've got some new clan levels. They put some cool things like Chaos Dust and Chaos Powder. I don't really see the point of Killstroke, because you've got variable sets have destroyed any form of Killstroke set. Why would I take a 2-piece set with crit damage when I can just simply take 2 pieces of Slayer or 2 pieces of Merciless, and it gives me more stats? Like, I just don't see it. I don't see the need for it. Then we've got champion rebalances, fine. And then we get to the improvements, and this is where, if anywhere it's going to exist, it will exist. So we can see that they've got some mention here around Hydra heads. Fix the bug that caused Hydra heads to not be decapitated after reaching 0 HP when Loki is on the team. This is where I think they've introduced this change by accident. Whatever they did to fix Loki has broken the whole game mode. That's what I think. My gut check. That's the only reference I can see about decapitated. But that should be for decapitation. So when the Hydra head is in the exposed neck, it shouldn't be when they go from exposed neck back to a Hydra head. So I'm not really sure if that is the thing, but this is one of the changes they've made. And we can see there's just lots of different things about Taras being in the team. We've got Korrigar, War Mother, Legate Teox when he's fighting Iron Twins, unrelated. Tainted Scarbuck, unrelated. Shogun, unrelated. Fix the bug that caused champions fighting the Hydra on auto to not focus on attacking decapitated heads. Great. That's an AI change, not a game mode change. Fix the bug that caused corpulents could have a crushing mass skill to ignore Serpent's will. That's when the head is alive, not dead. fixed a bug that caused champions fighting the Hydra on auto to use ally attacks against a Hydra Serpent will buff. Again, about living heads. All of these things are AI or living head issues, not actually what we've just seen. Then we go clan challenges, siege battle, fixed a couple of bugs, skill master bugs, siege defenses, siege arena. That is it. There is nothing mentioning. They have not put in the patch notes that, oh, by the way, if an exposed neck is killed on the first attack, all subsequent attacks cease. That is it's a huge change. We're talking a massive change to the way that you would build your Hydra teams. Multi-hit champions, no longer good. Ally attack champions, no longer good. The only champion that is of any sort of significant damage potential now is Trunda. We're back to Trunda Clash. And it may be, we may be looking at like significantly less damage. You know, we may be looking at Trunda only doing 5 to 10 billion, but it will be 5 times or 10 times more than any other team. I don't know. I'm hoping this video gets some attention and we can get this changed very quickly, because right now this modification, in my opinion, is going to be the death blow for a lot of people. They're already feeling pretty ropey about having to rebuild a lot of Hydra teams. If they have just rebuilt their Hydra team into an ally attack or into a multi-hit team, they got to go and rebuild it again, because that team is going to be very, very inefficient. It's going to lose multiple millions of damage. Hopefully I'll send this over to Player and they can fix it, and we'll see where it goes from there. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next video.